In today's Lenten vision, we join Brad Burroughs, age 8, in the Boston Center for Blind Children, and he's dying of severe pneumonia. It's in the middle of the night, and his heart has just stopped beating for the next 4 minutes. Born blind, Brad has never seen anything in his life until that night. He was gasping for air when he began to float in the room. And suddenly he could see his body on the bed below. He saw his roommate get out of bed and run out of the room seeking help. Brad then moved up through the ceiling and out through the roof of the building, and he could see the roads below recently plowed from snow. He saw a streetcar. He recognized the playground on which he and his friends had played. He later told an interviewer who published a study of 21 people who were born blind, who experienced sight during their near-death experiences. He said, "I was clearly able to visualize them. I could suddenly notice and see them quite clearly. And the details of his visual recollections from that night were confirmed by people who were there. After passing through a dark tunnel, and he could now tell the difference between dark and light, he came out to a large field. He said, the brightness and brilliance of that whole area was absolutely indescribable. He said, I'd always been told that grass can be green or brown, that the sky was blue, but I had no concept of colors. But here's how he described what he saw in that field of grass that night. He said, there was tremendous light up there. It seemed to come from every direction. It was all around and everywhere that I happened to be looking. It seemed like everything, even the grass I was stepping on, seemed to soak in that light. It seemed like the light could actually penetrate through everything that was there. Even the leaves on the trees. There was no shade. The light was actually all-encompassing. And I wondered how I could know that, because I had never seen before that point. Now, we can't believe everything we hear, because the world certainly has its share of flaky and fakey people. So we have to seek sound, empirical, and biblical corroboration to validate stories like this that we hear. And Brad Burroughs offers both. He offers verifiable, empirical evidence by seeing things that he would have no other way of knowing or describing. Things in his room, things around the Boston Center for the Blind. This recollection confirms his story. And it's also astonishing how often Brad and many others like him who experience near-death visions, how they describe the light coming out of the grass. It's something that many, many, many people who experience heaven in this way describe. And how would blind people form such an idea? You just can't make this up. The fact that they did, independent of one another, is very strong empirical evidence supporting their story. And then there's the biblical witness. John, the apostle, who is Jesus' youngest disciple, who actually survived his martyrdom. They boiled him in oil and he lived, described the same sort of light in the New Jerusalem in Revelation 21. I quote him now. He said, it shone with the glory of God, and its brilliance was like that of a very precious jewel. The city did not need the light of the sun or the moon to shine on it, for the glory of God gives it light, and the Lamb is the lamp. Maybe in his martyrdom, John had his own near-death experience. Well, I hope that Brad Burroughs' vision gives you eyes to see the glory of God in the face of Jesus, illumining heaven and the new creation. And with that vision, you'll see his light shining, even through the world's darkness, even through your heart's darkness. Folks, that's today's Lenten vision. I'll see you tomorrow.